Chase Lee Hockey with the Blue Futon. And with the recommendations, Sardar Udham is finally watched this 2 hour and 48-minute movie. Should you watch this on Amazon Prime? It's nationwide. Let's find out. So Sardar Udham, what's about, a very simple premise actually. We are following this revolutionist from India to Great Britain to do this assassination attempt, and we're going before the assassination attempt, after the assassination attempt, and how this life story actually portrayed and why did he do what he did. So this all focuses on the main story, so I don't say this incorrectly. I'm going to say this probably wrong though. The Amritsar massacre, and that occurred, if I'm not mistaken, in 1917, where the British Empire basically gunned down thousands of people for doing a peaceful protest by sitting down. So with that, did I like this movie? I thought this movie was well shot, great cinematography, great acting, great directing. I do think it was a little bit long, and some messaging of the movie might be a little contradictory of what it was trying to say. So with this, I'll give the negatives of the movie first. I have to do with the messaging. The reason I say that is because, okay, for this activist, he is a communist or a republic communist, an Indio Communist Party type of thing. The reason they're doing it is trying to do an uprising, a revolution from the British Empire. If you don't know me, communists are trash to me. I think all communist nations are stupid. None of them have ever worked. Just think about it. Stalin and everything like that. So me trying to, say, oh, that person's good, and being a communist, I think there is some mixed messaging there. Yes, the British Empire shouldn't be doing exactly what they're doing. They saw what happened in 1776 in America, and they said, oh shit, what can we do to other nations to try to keep power? I mean, look at Africa, look at India, and other nations like that, like France, Britain, and everything, just that region of the world of colonizations. So with that, I don't know if I agree with the communist message, but like I said, that communist message for India might be different than Stalin or what, Antifa is here trying to do right now and doing the whole communist socialist and the democratic socialists and communism, where it kind of leads that way. Because the reason I say that is there is a dialogue moment in this movie that talks about free speech. Communists don't agree with free speech. I know this activist is trying to say, yes, free speech should be for everyone. I'm not having my voice in the UK right now, but we should have free speech. But he's part of a communist party that communists don't like free speech. They like to censor voices, and, only the top people can say it. They get rid of news media that they disagree with. They get rid of politicians. They put politicians in jail, aka a country that is in a war right now used to do, and is doing everything like that. So with that mixed messaging, I was kind of like, because me and communists don't go hand in hand. People with the sickle and cross, it's like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, are you fucking stupid? But that is only a little part of the movie. The movie as a whole, about the massacre scene. So it takes about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get to this storyline, or to get to this massacre scene. I didn't know if they were going to show it. They show it. It is fucking brutal, and it needed to be this brutal. When I say, like, hands are getting shot, feet are coming off, children are getting massacred, women are getting massacred, pregnant people are getting massacred, shot through the face, shot through the eyes, shot through the chest, shot through everything. They needed to show that, because the whole 2 hour and 10 minutes before, it was a lot of torture scenes. It was a lot of, British government and the Indian population in Britain. And I do think it was very interesting. I'm glad they did it where he received pushback, because there were some faults of, like, his sort of communism and the UK form of communism, what they were doing. I do think they're very different, but same at the same time, because they're just like, oh, we need to talk, but one's like more violent and one's not. So there's a lot of different, like I said, the mixed messaging is there, and I think it could be good and bad. And what I was going with that is he was getting pushback by the Indians in UK saying, look, there's better ways to do it. Where in the UK, we can't do it as we are right now in this country before, doing the assassination attempt. But then leading to the massacre, it was very brutal, it was very bloody, and it needed to be that way. Some people might say it's over top or gruesome or too much, but they need to show it, because When was there a peaceful protest in the past 100+ years where thousands of people just got died, except, in China with like in 1993, Tiananmen Square. So there are scenarios where this is still happening in the past 20, 30 years, but showing this, it needs to be that graphic and brutal. So my only real negative is a mixed messaging with the movie and the political parties and the free speech stuff like that. And yeah, it is a little bit too long. Didn't it be 2 hours and 48 minutes? I think some scenes, yes, but they could have cut out some of the UK scenes and maybe some of this backstory of who he was following. Because this love triangle, I understand why it's in there, but it just kind of boggled down the story on some levels of like, yes, we know he wants to follow his like brother, his best friend, but do we need to have that kind of love interest story involved? I know the whole reason they did is to kind of connect to the massacre scene, but I do think cutting 15 minutes would make this a tighter, crispier movie to watch for a more audience appeal, which I do think the audience appeal is audience wise, not just India, because it is good mix of English dialogue with the UK as well as India. What I'll say with this, the subtitles did not match what was saying on screen. So that could be also a negative what Amazon Prime is doing. I don't know if it's on Amazon to do it, but when the Indian actor is saying something and you understand what he is saying, but the English subtitles is not what he is saying in English, that's a fault. Huge fault because that's got me concerned of what was saying in I don't know what language in India, because I know there's like 3 or 4 different types. So I don't know if what they were saying, if I was receiving it correctly. So that makes me think, oh shit, I wonder if I understand all the dialogue in subtitle form. But overall, I want to say his name right, sorry. Sardar Udham is a great movie. I enjoyed it overall. But like I said, I'm not a communist, so it's hard for me to understand that message of the revolutionary stuff of what he was doing. But of course, the British Empire, what they did was fucking atrocious, so everything like that. Like I said, maybe it's a different communist way of thinking versus like the UK people and the Stalin. But that's something I need to do more research on and doing homework and everything like that. Probably after the movie, I did get in the comic section before where some guys like, oh, you need to do your homework before doing shit. It's like, I'm sorry I made a fucking mistake for mistaking Mulholland Drive with Naomi Watts and Angelina Jolie. I meant to say Naomi Watts because the girl interrupted. It's like, sorry the fucking re that I am not perfect in your little world. But overall, cinematography, fantastic. This is not your typical Indian movie that you see like in Bollywood and stuff like that in RR. This is way more grounded, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Great acting, great directing, great writing. I will say one thing, the very end where talk about Winston Churchill and 4 million died, 3 million died. I was doing some research after the movie, and it says 3 million died, but the end credits say 4 million died. And then it talked about Winston Churchill, and I think putting it all on one man is not the right thing to do. Yes, I know we are all in that territory at today's age of like putting fingers on one man and one man only. It's not that simple, especially everything that happened in the world from like, let's fucking be real. 00 AD to now and today. There's still child slavery going on in Africa. There's still atrocities in this world. So put it all on one person, I kind of disagree with. I don't like this mentality of pointing it all on one person because what led to that as a whole? What led to this whole thing and what can other countries do to do other things? So that's just my 2 cents opinion of looking at the world and everything like that. But Sardar Udham will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futon. It goes at 80%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. So the critics say 94% with 18 of them, and the audience score 95% with over 100 and no critic consensus. Yeah, I could probably give it into the 90 range. I completely understand, but I do think cutting 15 minutes off, some of the messaging, I was like, I don't know if that's making sense what you're trying to do, but it is a fun movie. Fun is not the right word, guys. It is an entertaining, informative movie that I think more people need to watch to get history around the world. So, do you agree with my 80, the 94, or the 95? Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Bhutontopia. You Bhutonians, thanks for watching. Have a great day. And it's kind of weird when you review these movies, right? And you see these 90s and you give it 80. And some people in the comments are like almost offended by an 80. It's like, no, an 80 is a fucking great movie. It just makes you let me try to say it the right way. It's a movie that 70s you should watch, 80s you should watch, even 60s is like, it's a positive review and that's a movie you should watch. at that whole 80 to 100 range. I don't know, maybe because I need to do more research about the movie to give it more of a 90, but I enjoyed the movie for what was portrayed on the screen.